Namaste. This is JVN Dr. Vishal Saxena, Associate Professor in Mathematics and Statistics in Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to discuss on the module the acceptance region, p-values of statistics and the confidence limits. This session, this module is a part of the course Biostatistics under the program of BSc FND third semester, integrated BTech MTech FBT third semester, and BSc BTech FBT third semester of the university. As all we know that this part, this module of p-values and acceptance region and the confidence interval, the confidence limits are the very important parts of the statistics. These are important as these are useful for the various hypothesis testing procedure, and that's why this part of the statistics hypothesis testing is included in the various courses, various programs of the universities and in the subject of statistics and biostatistics. Biostatistics, which is just the study of statistics concerned with the biological concepts, biological phenomena and their biological tests, their experiments. So the today's session just will be based on these concepts and their examples. So first we have to understand what is the acceptance region. The acceptance region can be just understand in this way that this acceptance region is a range of values under which the null hypothesis is accepted. So it means when the test statistic lies in the range and where the null hypothesis is accepted, then it is this range is called the acceptance region. While the p-value is very important concept of the statistics, and it can be just taken as the evidence of rejection of the null hypothesis. So it can be just taken as the evidence, the proof part of the rejection of the null hypothesis, and it is just concerned with the rejection or the acceptance of the null hypothesis, and the confidence interval, the confidence limits are the maximum and the minimum values above and below which the test statistics will exist, and we are confident on this. So the confidence limits means the maximum and the minimum values above or below which that we are confident about that the test statistic will occur, will exist. Now to explain these concepts with more mathematical way, with more statistical examples, so we are taking some slides here. initially we are given that the concept of the region of acceptance, and the region of acceptance is given that like the range of values that leads the researcher to accept the null hypothesis is called the region of acceptance. So it means it can be considered as a range of the values that leads for the researcher or for the investigator to accept the null hypothesis. For example, a researcher might hypothesize that population mean is equal to 10, and for testing purpose of null hypothesis, the investigator collect a random sample of observations and compute the sample of mean, suppose, and if the sample mean is close to 10, then the researcher suppose close to 10, maybe suppose between 9 and 11, the researcher might decide to accept the hypothesis. In this example, the region of acceptance would be the range of values between 9 and 11. So that can be just considered as 9 to 11, 9 and 11, between 9 and 11 can be considered as the acceptance region, because it is just very close to the sample mean, which is taken as 10. Now the p-values, just we have explained that the p-value is the evidence against a null hypothesis. It means that is used in the hypothesis for testing in support or rejection the null hypothesis, and if the smaller the p-value, the stronger the evidence that you should reject the null hypothesis. And p-values are expressed as decimals, or because just we can explain them decimals and even in percentage form also. And this means there is a, suppose if we have the p-value as 0.0254, which means it is equal to 2.54%, and this means there is a 2.54% chances your results could be random, means just it is the chance of the result of results to be random. And on the other hand, if a large p-value, suppose 0.9, that means 90%, means that your results have a 90% probability of being completely random and not due to the anything in your experiment. Therefore, the smaller the p-value, the more important significant our results. Now we can understand this p-value by the graph, by the diagram, and alpha levels can also be written as percentage, and graphically the p-value is the area in the tail of a probability distribution. So we can see the probability, the p-values are shown in the area in the tail part of the probability distribution, and it is calculated when you run hypothesis test, and is the area to the right of the test statistic. So this is the area in the right of the statistic, and if we are just taking the two-tailed test, then we have to consider this right portion in both sides of mean, means in the left and in the right portion of the mean. Now p-value versus alpha level. Alpha levels are controlled by the researcher and related to the confidence levels. You can you get an alpha level by subtracting your confidence level from 100%. For example, if you want to be 98% confident in your research, then the alpha level would be 100 minus 98%, that means it is a 2%. And when you run the hypothesis test, the test will give you a value for p. Compare the value to your chosen alpha level and for example suppose the alpha level be 5%, then if the results from the test give you a small p, means if it is less than or equal to 0.05, then we have to reject the null hypothesis, and this is a strong evidence that the null hypothesis is invalid. While a large p, means if it is greater than to 0.05, that means the alternative hypothesis is weak, and so you do not reject the null hypothesis. And next we are having the concept of the confidence interval. A confidence interval is how much uncertainty there is with any particular statistics. It's a very important part of the confidence interval. Just we have explained that the definition, these are the maximum and the minimum values, and above which and below which the test statistic will occur, will lie, and it tells you how confident you can be that the results from a poll or the survey reflect what you would expect to find it if it were possible to survey the entire population. Confidence intervals are intrinsically connected with the confidence levels, and confidence levels are expressed as a percentage. For example, suppose if we take 95% confidence level, then it means that we should repeat an experiment or the survey over and over again, then 95% of the time we find the results which will match the results you get from a population. In other words, your statistic would be sound, and confidence intervals are the results, and they are usually numbers. For example, you survey a group of pet owners to see how many cans of the dog food they purchase a year. You test your statistic at 99% confidence level and get a confidence interval of 200 to 300. That means you think that buy between 200 and 300 cans a year. You are super confident, 99% is a very high level, that your results are sound statistically. And this is shown a figure for the this regions. We can see here the critical regions are shown by the white areas, and the confidence interval is shown that by the green shaded portion, and it is the area for the 95% level of significance, that is confidence level, 95% confidence level, that is given that here. And this is a part of the confidence interval, confidence limits, and now students are advised to prepare this topic or these topics because we have discussed about various topics today: the acceptance region, the p-values, and the confidence limits, the confidence interval with the concept parts, because these are very useful topics and useful also for the higher studies and for the testing of hypothesis purposes. So students are advised to take to understand these topics and just prepare also for the competitive questions. The competitive questions may be in the two forms, descriptive as well as the objective questions. So prepare objective questions also there. Such many different questions like descriptive questions can be made there, and take some numerical portions also for the just practice over the numerical questions, and the topics of p-values is very important part, the confidence interval and the acceptance region. The acceptance region can also be understood by the concept of the critical region, as all we know that the sample space as the whole sample space as is the union of the critical region and the acceptance region. So students are advised to prepare all these topics, and with this I conclude my today's session. Thank you.